Have you ever thought about exactly how we learn? Have you ever thought about why some experiences you retain a lot better than other experiences? Have you ever thought about what you can do to actually maybe help teach things? Hi, I'm Dale Young, and I'm here today with the second in a series of videos around my transformational leadership class. I'm going to put a chart up on the screen that gives you kind of some bar graphs here. And we're going to talk about how each one of these bars, each one of these categories, gives you a different percentage of learning. The percentage that's going to be filled in the blank next to the percent sign is how much do you retain 24 hours after the event happened. The first category is lecture. And what you retain after just hearing a lecture or just hearing somebody speak is you retain about 5% of that. It is an average of all people across all lectures, and you get the idea. So it's just a general measure, but it's a good general measure. So what do you think the second category might be? Well, it happens to be reading. And so the percentage actually doubles from 5% to 10% when you go into reading. You can recall about 10% of what you read 24 hours later. The next category, audio-visual. Okay, with audio-visual, you can actually retain 20%. That's you're getting up there, right? The next category, demonstration. Demonstration lets you retain 30%. What would be a demonstration? Demonstration would be like in chemistry, the professor actually mixing up some chemicals and you seeing the reaction. Or a demonstration would be you're learning about forgiveness and you actually see somebody forgive somebody else as part of a demonstration. Then that's much more impactful than just hearing about it or just reading about it. Okay? The next category, discussion group. You add in a discussion group and the percentage jumps to 50%. Now, this is one of the reasons why one of the networking groups that I work with, Leverage Your Network, I believe that's why this one is so powerful, is because Leverage Your Network always has a workshop, a discussion group, some type of let's get the learning embedded. And that's one of the big things for me, is to help the learning, help the growth. Okay, the next category, practice by doing. And that's when the percentage jumps all the way to 75%. That's when, let's go back to the forgiveness example, you not only see somebody do forgiveness, but you actually practice forgiveness right there in the session or the seminar. You practice it by forgiving somebody that you need to forgive, who might be there in the seminar. They might not be in the seminar, but you're role-playing with somebody else, and so you're working through the process there. So that's the practice by doing side. And then the last category is teaching others. And we all know that if you really want to learn something, you try teaching it to somebody and you find out what you don't know. But the percentage on that is 90%. Obviously, we're never all going to get to 100%. I hope that helps clarify for you some of those percentages, some of those reasons why some things stick a little bit better and some things don't. And I hope that it not only gives you ideas for why it happens, but ideas on how to take and use it yourself going forward. Because that's what transformational leadership is all about. It's not only teaching you the why and the what, but it's also teaching you the how of leadership. We'll be doing another transformational leadership course. You can see all the details in the notes below, or you can go to coachdale.com/TL to find out when the next one's available. And I hope to see you in one of them in the future soon.